We're coming back and we're going to be speaking to Gary Kendellen, who is the Marketing and Connecting Community at Galway Atlantaquaria, because they are going to launch the Sea Water Differently River Walks. Good morning. Move on to my next guest, because I'm joined in studio by Gary Kendellen, who is the Marketing and Connecting Community at Galway Atlantaquaria, because they're launching their Sea Water Differently River Walk. Gary, good morning. Talk to us a bit about this. I know it was to do with an environmental project, but talk to us. It's going to come up now next month in August, I believe.
Yeah, good morning, John. Thanks very much for inviting me on, and just hello to all your listeners. Yeah, so for the European Green Week, the European Environment, who are responsible for policy and ensuring the quality of life for its citizens, they launched a campaign called Sea Water Differently. And there was something about this campaign, whether it was the visuals, the facts about freshwater, the water cycle, we really embraced and took on the role to become a freshwater ambassador. So we're joined by hundreds of other freshwater, Sea Water Differently, water-wise champions across Europe. And so for the last few weeks, we have been doing surveys in our rivers, canals, and we've even gone as far as to see our waterfalls. So it's all going to culminate with a free river walk in Middle River on the 10th of August at 10 a.m.
Brilliant. And the river walk itself, talk us through it. What will people actually experience on this river walk? Yeah,
so as this is a pilot, we put a lot of thought into what we hope to get from it. So primarily really is to engage or inspire and educate and engage the public about the water cycle, which is so important for our livelihood, well-being, jobs, etc. So the water cycle is a very important part of this ocean literacy awareness, to be aware of how we're affected by water that surrounds us. Then we're going to go for a walk. We're going to do a river survey to check how to check the health of the river, to check the tidal flow, erosion, vegetation. Then we're going to do a clean coast litter pick from, say, Friars Walk down to the actual Middle River. Then we're going to stop, take a break, and do some bird watching along this middle point across from Persis Distillery, where you'll see lots of cormorants and seagulls flying around. And then we'll finish at Middle River, where we'll observe the wonderful fish that live in that part of the river.
It's very interesting. It all sounds very hands-on as well, particularly that testing the river as well. Just give us a bit more detail on that.
Yeah, so we're designing some home water experiments that young people can do at home to check the difference between hard and soft water. But the survey activity sheet really is just a kind of a visual, like a diary, like a river diary. So young people will be given this diary that has some information. They'll be able to record what they see. They'll be able to record how many photos they take. We'll do a little bit of photography. And then we'll have a small little competition for the best photo at the end of the walk.
And what I like about it is it seems to be promoting the protection of nature, but not in a finger wagging way.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons we love the campaigns is the visuals for the Sea Water Differently Waterwise campaign. They evoke this kind of emotional connection, and we are very fortunate in Galway to have a beautiful freshwater river system that's, currently there's a wonderful river walk with signage, so people are armed with the information. So I think what we found during this campaign when we're doing Sea Water Differently, it is about looking at water differently, looking at water as kind of an important part of our culture, our history, the mental health and well-being, the life it provides. So when we look at the surface of the water, we can reflect on the beauty of Galway. Then we go a little bit deeper. We can understand the life that lives underwater. And then, of course, underlying, you cannot not talk about the marine litter, the glass that underlies it. So that's why we're balancing it with the clean coast, so people can become participants in helping clean. And when you're wearing your clean coast uniform, it kind of gives you that visibility, and it does encourage or change other people's behaviour in their attitudes towards marine litter.
And you'll have a Sea Water Differently campaign toolkit with you. What does that consist of?
Yeah, so currently the toolkit is being launched, and like I said, because it's so nuanced and because we put so much effort, and it was all about seeing water differently, so you could interpret as long as you stuck with the initial freshwater or Sea Water Differently facts and campaign. So our PDF on the Middle River Galway is on our website now, and next week we're going to launch our canal PDF, which is heavily inspired by the Galway Waterways Foundation. They've done fantastic work at the Heritage, so we've kind of reimagined that. And then finally we have our waterfall PDF. So it's kind of like arming people with all that information from the waterfall through the canal through the river and how fresh water impacts on us all. Like, I think key facts from the thing is like that only less than 3% of water on the planet is fresh water. So it really is such an amazing, valuable resource, and we do need to understand the water cycle and its impacts with climate change, pollution and biodiversity loss.
I believe you'll be having a photo competition on the day.
Yeah, so I love taking photos. I take so many photos, and I'm currently trying to sort through all the photos from the Seawater Differently campaign, but I love taking photos. I think the fact that we can capture so much history through our cameras or that moment in time, so we're trying to create a really wonderful memory for young people to remember, you know, that we went for a lovely walk along the river, we saw beautiful things, we learned a little bit about the water cycle, we did a bit, and you know, so a key picture will kind of capture that moment forever.
Okay, and if people want to book it, what time's the beginning, where do you start, where do you end, and all that details?
So the details are up on our social media, Facebook, or it's on our website under our events page. There's actually loads of events, so there's loads of free events actually. There's the Clean Coast Beach Clean this Saturday. There's the Heritage Week events. There's our yoga, and so there's lots of free events up on our show. So please go onto the website, www.nationalaquarium.on, and just book ahead. It's actually limited because it's the first time we're doing it, so it's a really special event, and we hope everyone enjoys it and books it.
Is the hope to continue on to this into the future?
Yeah, based on the success. What's awful funny is I've asked, we've got great friends in MKO and Clean Coast, and I've asked one of them to send along a mystery shopper, because you know you do want to give it your best. So hopefully they're going to kind of survey, analyse it. We'll get some feedback from the participants, but we'll also have a mystery shopper just
Brilliant.
saying, you know, what about this? So I was hoping to kind of flood them out by mispronouncing an acronym. We have the SUDS, you know, so I might say something like, oh, SUDS, and call it Sustainable Urban, and then if they correct me, I know they're the mole.
Brilliant. Gary Candillan, thank you for joining us on Galway Talks this morning. We're coming back and we're looking at a family who have divided loyalties ahead of the All-Ireland final. They're from Dunmore. Good morning.